Today we will talk about EV chargers, about their functionality, and also what kind of features would an Indian customer as uh, would expect from an EV charger. Also, we will look into some of the costing points. Okay, if we want to make a charger or if we want to produce a charger, then what would be the price point at which we need to make them? So these are all tentative calculations. The actual calculations have to be done in detail. But the idea is that with today's discussion, you will get an idea of how actually you would have to do a techno commercial evaluation of the chargers. Okay. So now when we come to the functionality, then the first thing that we have to look into is that what kind of protocols are we going to accept. Okay, so if we are going to go for a Bharat Charger protocol, or we can also think of Open Charge Point Protocol 2.0. Okay, that's the latest Open Charge Point protocol that has come out. So if we look into the charging protocols which are available throughout the world, then there are certain points which are common. First of all, that there should be a solid or a robust communication between the charger and the battery management system of the EV. That's one common functionality. Okay, then the EV charger should have emergency stopping, so in case the temperature of the battery rises unduly, or in case there is some kind of a failure at the input end and so on. So in that case, there should be a protection mechanism which should be there in case of EV charger. Okay, so such kind of functionalities are common for all kinds of protocol, independent of where they are used. Apart from that, there are certain other specific requirements which an Indian customer would like to have for their charger, like charging based on energy. Okay, so somebody would come to a charging station and would say that I want maybe half a kilowatt hour of energy or 1 kilowatt hour of energy. So somebody might have that kind of a requirement. Like in India, we say for petrol filling that please fill up my tank with 3 liters or 4 liters. So same way somebody can say that charge my battery by an X kilowatt hour amount of energy. Then there would be something which will be based on SOC. So that is SOC based charging. So some customer might come to the charging point and would say that please charge my battery up to 70% SOC or 50% SOC. So some kind of a requirement of that type might come. Then there might be other people who might also require a distance based charging. So you can come to the charging station and say that give me enough charge to travel next 4 kilometers or 5 kilometers. Okay, so such kind of a requirement can also come. Then there can be a time based charging. So the time based charging would be that okay, I would like to charge for next 15 minutes or 20 minutes. So that can be also a requirement. So these are some of the requirements. I don't say that this is an exhaustive list, but these are some of the requirements that a person who comes to a charging station might have. Okay, it can be much more than that. So it's really up to our imagination what all scenarios can happen. Then apart from that, the charger that we have should have an inbuilt functionality or an inbuilt set of functionality. Okay, first the functionality that the charger should have is that it should be able to detect the battery type. So as soon as a battery is connected, it should be able to detect whether it's a lithium ion battery or lead acid battery or a nickel cadmium battery. If possible, then in lithium ion battery, which exact chemistry is there, so that it has to recognize. It can do so by communicating with the battery management system of the energy pack. But it might also happen that in many situations the battery management pack might be malfunctioning, or does not even have, the vehicle does not have a battery management system, like e-rickshaws and so on. They don't have any kind of a robust battery management system. So in that case, how would a charger detect which kind of a battery has come? And also now the charger should be able to know about the battery's current SOC and also its capacity, its temperature, and so on. Okay, the second thing is that it should be able to update the battery parameters when the charging is on process. So it should be able to find out that what is the SOC variation as the battery is being charged, or what is the voltage condition of the battery while it is being charged. So these kind of updates it should be able to handle. Moreover, in many situations, the charger should also be in a position to decide that what kind of an appropriate charging protocol should the battery have. So, should somebody go for a constant current or constant voltage charging, or should the charger shift to pulse charging? So, these are the kind of decisions that the charger will have to make. Moreover, if you see, the charger should be able to charge the batteries safely and prevent any kind of an emergency. So these are some of the major features which a charger should have, or these are the functionalities that a charger should have. Now, getting if we have all these functionalities in a charger, then essentially we are going towards the development of what is known as a smart charger. So that's the idea of a smart charger. So far we do not have a charger which has all these functionalities, but yes, in near future they would be having all these kinds of functionalities, and these are all actually very software related issues that the charger should be able to handle. So if you see, apart from the hardware part which we saw in one of the previous webinars, so the hardware part is something which we can make, but apart from the hardware part we also need to work a lot on the software integration and also on building up some kind of an intelligence into the charger. So if we have all these kind of features which are listed here on the slide, then actually we are going towards a smart charger or an intelligent charger. And then here what we have is some kind of an explanation of what are the various kinds of charging needs that a person would have. Okay, so for example, a person can come to a charging station and would say that I have rupees 50 with me. Okay, so can what is the best charging that I can do for my battery? So with 50 rupees, if you go for a fast charging, then you won't get much energy, but you will charge your battery fast, because fast charging rates would be different from medium charging rate and from slow charging rate. Okay, so then this kind of information we have to tell to the user that, well, if you go for fast charging and if you want a charge for 50 rupees, then maybe you get 1 kilowatt hour of energy. But if you go for slow charging, then with 50 rupees maybe you can get 1.5 kilowatt hour of energy. Okay, and then the charger should give the information that if you go for fast charging, your charging will be done in half an hour. If you go for slow charging, it would take 1.5 hours or something like that. So this kind of an interaction a charger should have with the user to make the charging experience seamless, because we have to keep something in mind. Charging is not as simple a process as filling up petrol or diesel in the vehicle. Okay, so charging is a bit of a more technically involved thing, and we cannot expect that the user who comes to the charging point would be an engineer or a very highly qualified technician. So we need to take into account the capabilities of the user, and we have to make sure that our charger itself is smart enough and interacts with the user and helps the user to make proper decisions. Okay, so this is the idea or the issues that the charger might have to handle. Then here I can show you one more issue which a charger might face. Okay, that somebody comes and says that I want to charge my battery up to 70% SOC. Maybe the SOC indicator shows the driver that the current SOC is around 40%. So the driver comes to the charging point and says that please top up my battery up to 70% SOC. So that might be a request, but does the driver or the vehicle owner really understand the meaning of that, that if you go from current 40% to 70% SOC, then how much energy actually would be going in? So the charger should be able to calculate that, okay, the arrival SOC is 50% and somebody wants to go up to 70%, then it should be able to display that if you do such kind of a charging, then maybe zero point 0.8 kilowatt hour of energy would be put into the battery. Okay, so that the user knows that if he or she makes this kind of a requirement, then what exactly does it mean for the charger? Okay, so this is another scenario which might happen. And also somebody might come with a requirement that, look, I want to drive for another 6 kilometers, so give me enough energy now to drive next 6 kilometers. So this is again a very challenging situation for the charger, because the charger has to calculate based on the feedback from the battery management system, okay, that to drive 6 kilometers, how much energy the battery should have. Okay, so it will interact with the battery management system, which will have a historical trend that for this driver to drive a kilometer, the vehicle consumes maybe 300 watt hour. To drive 1 kilometer, the vehicle consumes 300 watt hour for this specific vehicle and for this driver. That kind of an information would be there in the battery management system. So now if somebody has to travel next 6 kilometers, then the charger would calculate that, okay, for 1 kilometer the vehicle needs 300 watt hour, so for 6 kilometer it would need around 1.8 kilowatt hour. So that kind of an information and calculation would be done and displayed to the user, that, well, if you want to travel for next 6 kilometers, which is your wish, then you would need to charge around 1.8 kilowatt hour of energy. Okay, so that information is displayed, and then the charger might ask the user that, what kind of a charging do you want? Do you want a fast charging or a slow charging? Okay, and depending on that, the tariff rates and so on would be decided. So these are some of the calculations which the charger has to do, and these calculations actually give it its inherent intelligence. Then there is something which is also known as time-based charging. Okay, so here the user says that, I want to charge my battery for half an hour. Okay, now depending on that, the charger has to make certain decisions that in half an hour how much energy can go into the battery. But then to make such kind of a decision, the charger also needs some further information from the user. So the charger would ask the user that, well, do you want a fast charging or a slow charging? So if the user says that I want a fast charging, then the charger would calculate, after getting information from the BMS about the battery's state of health, and also the user's information that the user wants to charge for half an hour at fast charging, then the charger would calculate that, okay, in half an hour for your battery at fast charging, you might get around 8 kilowatt hour of energy. Okay, and this would be the cost of it. And if the user accepts yes, then actually the charger starts to pump in that much amount of energy into the vehicle. So you see here, there are a lot of decisions that the charger will have to make, and also the situations might arise where the charger will have to ask certain specific questions to the user, so that the user can give those inputs, and then the charger can make informed decisions and display them to the user, so that the user understands the implication of the wishes and the wish of wishes, and also the cost implications. Okay, that how much money would I be paying, how much energy would I be getting, so on and so forth. So this involves a lot of interaction. Okay, now if I see here, the charger would have to interact with the battery management of system on a large way, it has to interact with the user on a large way, and also it has to interact with the grid. Okay, so the charger would like to or must interact with the grid, because it has to estimate that what is the situation of the grid. If the grid is under stress, okay, then the charger would discourage fast charging. And if somebody insists on having fast charging at that point of time when the grid is under stress, then the cost of charging would be higher. Okay, so somebody insists that I want to have fast charging, but the grid is under stress, then, well, somebody has to pay a higher premium, and the fast charging would be allowed. Clear? But then the charger should be aware of the situation of the grid, the charger should be aware of the situation of the battery via the battery management system, and of course the charger should interact with the user to know what exactly the user wants to have. So these are the kind of scenarios and situations that the chargers of the near future would be encountering, and they have to become intelligent enough to handle such kind of scenarios. So these are some of the aspects and the functionalities that the chargers should have. Now, here I try to give you a brief outline of the features that we would like to have in our charger. So the next part of the talk would be on the economics of it.